Hello and happy Tuesday, which is of course my book reviews day. And today I would like to talk to you about You Suck, a love story by Christopher Moore. This hot pink edition is the numbered edition from Charnel House books, but I'll talk about the actual edition specifications after I talk about the book itself. First of all, I need to commend You Suck for perfectly encapsulating my opinion of this novel within its title. I thought it sucked. Admittedly, I did not know that this was the second novel in a trilogy, but that actually was not detrimental in any way. Christopher Moore, to his credit, does a great job of bringing the readers up to speed, even if you haven't read the first novel. It's a very difficult thing for an author to do that without it feeling like an exposition dump, but Christopher Moore does a really good job. Robert McCammon is a master of it, but Christopher Moore, he holds his own. So, You Suck, like I said, is a sequel, technically. The first book, which I believe was called Love Bites, follows a C. Thomas Flood, Tommy, an aspiring writer who goes out to the coast to pursue his dream of writing. And he starts a relationship with Jody, who has recently been turned into a vampire. And I guess the first novel deals with him trying to be a servant for his vampire girlfriend, culminating in him being turned into a vampire at the very end. So You Suck starts off with him becoming a vampire. And, it even starts off with, nice little sentence there. You bitch, you killed me. You suck. So this is not a horror novel, despite all the talk of vampires. Christopher Moore is very well known for his comedic writing style. I've never read anything by him before. And some of the jokes are funny, but a lot of them I personally felt fell flat. Maybe it's just, not for me. I will say some of his writing is a little bit problematic. Might be a trigger warning of sorts, but, right off the bat on page 2, he makes a rape joke. So, that's a joke, Wait till you go out in your jammies and wake up all sticky in a cheerleader outfit and see how grateful you are. That is, that's a little problematic. Some of the jokes, they kind of fall flat. One in particular I absolutely loved, is that there's a chapter about halfway through here called Nobody Likes a Dead Whore. It deals with, a dead prostitute. And then 10 pages later, some police investigators are, looking at the dead prostitute's murder and says you can't beat a dead whore in the morning because apparently everybody loves dead hookers, despite what certain writer types may think. I like that. That's kind of meta. It's kind of humorous. But a lot of the jokes are very stupid humor. If you turn your brain off when you're reading it, you might find it funnier. But, I wasn't able to turn my brain off quite as much as one would need to in order to fully enjoy this novel. Some of the jokes with some of the characters are just like racial stereotype jokes, which, can be done well. Like Steve Martin's The Jerk handles those racial jokes well. 'Cause there's endearment. There's endearing characters at the heart of the story to deliver said jokes. Whereas You Suck is trying to make those jokes where the whole punchline is, hey, they're a stereotype. And for me, it's just crickets. You Suck deals with Tommy having now been turned into a vampire, featuring this wonderful Phil Parks illustration of Lord Byron with vampire fangs. I like that. It deals with him trying to, come to terms with his vampirism, while also kind of dealing with the aftermath of the first book. The first book ended with them apparently capturing this master vampire, the vampire who had turned Jody into a vampire, and he's captured in a bronze statue that's in their living room. And they've made some deals about pretty much leaving town, and they don't want to leave town. So a good half of this novel deals with Tommy and Jody just basically trying to move down the block. And then the second half of the novel deals with the situations that have arisen based on the first half of the novel, which unfortunately don't really have any good depth to it. A lot of the plot lines feel like sitcom plot lines. Like you could, get through the whole story arc within 2 short half-hour sitcoms, which might work well for a novella or a short story, but doesn't quite work well for an actual full-length novel like this. There's no stakes to it, and that's not a vampire pun. I mean, one of the most difficult things about this novel is definitely the characters, in my opinion. Tommy is equal parts stupid and whiny. Jody is the most likable character in this, but even then, she just, she's just kind of generically sardonic about the situations. Plus, on the receiving end of rape jokes, it is what it is. About a third of the way through, we're introduced to Abby Normal, who is kind of recruited to be Tommy and Jody's new vampire assistant. They're familiar, and she's annoying as all hell. She is a goth teenager who talks like a stereotypical teenager. So I was like, sweet, Starbucks. She literally talks in leet speak at a couple times, where she does OMFG, woot, and I'm just thinking, please go away. But she doesn't go away. Oh, there we go. OMFG, woot. She sticks around, and you get more and more chapters from her diary in the second half of the novel. It's just, oh God, it's so bad. The character, not necessarily the novel. I didn't enjoy the novel, but I didn't hate it. It didn't enrage me like Mallory did, so it's got that going for it. Excuse me, talking too much, I guess. But it wasn't a very entertaining read for me. This is very much a turn your brain off and get from point A to point B. But unfortunately, the characters are bland. The plot is just boring. And it just, you turn your brain off for a popcorn novel, and you can turn your brain off, but you're not really going to get much enjoyment out of the popcorn novel, I guess. Like I said, the characters are just annoying, and the plot is non-existent. And, I don't think I'm going to read the third one. My understanding is the third one predominantly centers on Abby Normal, which is going to be a solid hell no from me. That is You Suck, a love story by Christopher Moore, which, I personally would not recommend it. It's one of those things where if you want, any of the aspects of this novel, it can be found better elsewhere. If you want a great vampire novel about a familiar taking care of a vampire, check out Let the Right One In by John Alvita Lindquist. One of the central characters introduced in this novel is Blue, who is a prostitute whose entire gimmick is that she looks like the Blue Man Group. If you want Blue Man Group humor, just watch Arrested Development or the actual Blue Man Group. You probably can skip You Suck, a love story. I will say the production is nice. This being a Charnel House production, you got your hot pink cloth-bound boards. This was limited to 250 copies, as well as 26 lettered editions. The lettered editions had studs, apparently, in the cover, which is interesting. It is signed, of course, by Christopher Moore. Right in the back there, this is number 205. Charnel House does a very nice production with their book. So, if you are a big Christopher Moore fan, or you absolutely love the novel and you want a nice collectible edition, you can't go wrong with the edition. It's very nice. It's sewn binding, so you're going to get some nice sturdy publication. But if you're not familiar with the title, I would recommend checking out a trade edition first. Don't blindly find a copy like I did. I got a great deal on this, and I think I know why now, because whoever sold it to me didn't want the book either. Oh, it does come with a slipcase as well. I didn't show that here. But if you're a fan of it, it's a very nice edition. But if you haven't read this novel yet, definitely check out first before you seek out a Charnel House copy. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. I've got plenty of unboxing videos on the channel here, as well as at least one book review a week on Tuesdays, so please consider subscribing to the channel. I've heard great things about Christopher Moore, so maybe I'll check out another title by him that's not a vampire title. Maybe it'll be more enjoyable. Or maybe it'll suck again, and I'll just realize he's not an author for me. But, check out Christopher Moore. If you've read any Christopher Moore and you want me to check out another Christopher Moore title, let me know in the comments below. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you around next time.